Does war visit fair Bretonnia this day? It is no longer enough for the dukes to sit idle. It is time for the flower of Bretonnia to unfurl and reveal its thorns. I come to his court with a wealth of knowledge that will aid this errantry war. Like the Grail companions of old, the dukedoms of Bretonnia will unite under the banner of their king. Let their enemies feel lance tip and blessed sword. Now is the age of chivalry and greatness. Now is the age of blood and battle.
Hello guys, and welcome to a new Total War Warhammer series today by me, Vulcan. And today we are going to be playing on the new Bretonnia DLC. We're going to be starting a Bretonnian campaign. So let's jump into the new campaign and the old world, and we are going to be selecting one of the three new factions. So we have Bretonnia here. Bretonnia is one, Bordelot and Carcassonne. Bretonnia is owned by the king, Louis Leoncourt. We have Bordelot owned by Duke Alberic, and we have Carcassonne led by the Fae Enchantress, who is the living representative of the Lady of the Lake, which is basically their god, the Bretonnian god, that is. So today I have chosen to play as Carcassonne, mainly because the Fae Enchantress is really cool. Also, you start at war with the Wood Elf, so it should be a good challenge. And yeah, there's a lot of different things changed, so I'm not going to necessarily turn up the difficulty for this one, but if you'd like to read the background on Bretonnia, then feel free. Just pause it and have a look. But let's continue. So here's the Fae Enchantress. She is our faction leader. She is a supreme enchantress. She has the master of the law of life, which is all to do with healing and protection. And then she has the powerful battle ability Mist of the Lady, which gives extra melee attack, I believe, and also just in general she's an amazing melee combatant in terms of absolutely annihilating enemy forces. Her lord effects: Image of the Lady, plus 5 peasants available to the factions, pretty good. Upkeep greatly reduced for Grail Guardians, which are these chaps on the right, and casualty replenishment rate plus 15%, which is very, very useful in certain situations. So she starts with Battle Pilgrims, of course, so Grail Guardians, and Blessed Field Trebuchet. And then this is a background. Pause it and read it if you'd like to do so. So there we go. And I'll go through the mechanics of Bretonnia once we jump into the game, but in the meantime, let's start it.
Blessings on you and your lands, wise and Fae Enchantress. Your kingdom is in peril and has need of your strength. Dark clouds are brewing abroad. The elves of Athel-Loren grow bold of late. Their expansionist desires see them encroaching beyond the limits of the forest. Hold your own against their ilk. The nearby mountains are infested with greenskins. As ever they battle the stubborn dwarfs, be vigilant, lest their filthy scourge infects Bretonnian lands. Along the coast, the mercenaries of Tilia sell their swords to the highest bidder. You can be sure they value coin over loyalty. Be wary of them. The savage beast lord Kazrak dwells nearby. He is set upon a path of war that will invariably bring him into contact with you. You must defeat this ruinous threat. Ever blessed by the Lady of the Lake, Bretonnian lands serve the goddess completely. Show no fear. March forth, and in her name, restore the virtue of your realm. My lord, the Dukes of Bretonnia have resided under a chivalrous code for many years. Honor this tradition, build upon the great foundations of Gilles le Breton, and lead the knightly orders forward to glory.
And there we have it. The chapter objective issued. I believe he just read it out, so I'm not going to have to do that. But we have to attain 400 chivalry, which is one of the new mechanics. I'm sure it will tell us about those shortly. That would give us 5,000 when we do that. So here we go, how they play. So this is the same, I believe, for pretty much all Bretonnian factions. Chivalry is basically increased by noble actions and heroic victories, basically victories in general most of the time, and lost through dishonorable deeds. I wish you could see my quotation marks that I'm making, but basically dishonorable deeds covers quite a lot of things, like being in ambush stance, being in raiding stance, whatever. Like there's quite a few things that are dishonorable, like taking money for for captives and stuff like that. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's honestly quite a cool game mechanic. Kind of makes you play in a certain way for sure. So current chivalry level is at the top. Once you get to each sort of level, you get extra bonuses, and when you reach a new level, you get access to a use of the Green Knight, who can be summoned, I believe, into your army, and then be used on the battlefield. As for peasants, well, peasants is a new thing. Basically, some of the infantry unit, basically all the infantry units are technically classed as peasants, and you can only have a maximum of 15 peasant units before you basically start losing the productiveness of your farms. So that's kind of annoying. Also, minus 10% upkeep for all non-knight units when you keep underneath that. When you go over it, you lose that bonus, which is really annoying. So that can go up. You can get more than 15 peasant units, and you can raise the maximum amount by owning more settlements. But in the meantime, for us, it's currently 15.
Fae Enchantress.
So what I'm going to do, we're going to stay outside the settlement, and there is a good reason for that, even though we're on -5 public order. We're going to start by just recruiting some peasant bowmen. Now I'm going to get Marie Beaumont to head to the Bretonnians, mainly so that we can find them and start communicating with them off the bat. Because what we want to do is talk to Paravon, for example, and get a non-aggression pact. We might be able to get some cash for that. Maybe we can get a trade agreement as well. Okay, maybe we would just go for a non-aggression pact. Yeah. And let's select Bordelot and hopefully get a non-aggression pact there as well. Okay, we can't yet. Hopefully we can. Next turn, maybe? No. Okay, so we're basically going to discover all of the Bretonnian factions. We want to get friendly with them as quickly as possible, because a lot of the Bretonnian campaign relies a lot on diplomacy, which is quite interesting. But it does mean there is quite a lot of skipped turns at the start. Of course, I did do my taster campaigns, and none of them have really gone well so far, which is something I'm a little bit worried about, but I'm sure we can make it work. In the meantime, let's go into technology, and we will head towards Heraldry of Lyonese. And the reason we're going towards Heraldry of Lyonese is because Lyonese is, I think, the only Bretonnian faction that starts with one settlement. So you can confederate them, and basically the heraldry technologies do allow you to confederate those factions and give you chivalry and give you diplomatic relations. So that's what we're going for here. And that's why I chose Leonese first to confederate, because you generally need to be bigger than the faction that you're confederating.
You seek prophecy.
Right. Let's end the turn, although we do need to issue a commandment. I'm probably just going to go for Realm of Chivalry to get the extra research rate straight off the bat. Will help us complete those technologies quicker. And in the meantime, at Castle Carcassonne, we are going to be working on the fields there. And the reason we're doing that is just because it gives us the most income currently, and we're not going to be going over the peasant economy limit just yet, so that's fine. So we are at war with the Wood Elf from the start. We do need to worry about them attacking us. But here we have the Green-Skinned and Unpleasant Land. So this is a really annoying event that occurs at the start of the campaign. We get 20 turns of -20 control in all provinces. So now public order is called control, and basically we're going to let that keep hitting -100 so that we can kill off greenskins and gain chivalry that way. So let's just read this. Your people live in fear, for evil stalks fair Bretonnia. The greenskins that infest the mountains and forests harass and raid the surrounding villages with ever greater violence. Now they mass in the hills, and the people fear a greater incursion. Control is decreasing across the land as a result. Hold out if you think the kingdom robust enough, in the hope that they tire and skulk back to their hideouts, or lead a force to destroy their settlements and end their attacks and wipe them out for good. So we can stop that event from occurring, I think, by destroying the Broken Nose, the Crooked Moon, and the Skull Smashers in the area. I believe that's how we stop that from occurring in the future, but for now we have 20 turns remaining of -20 control per turn, which is basically causing us -25 control in Castle Carcassonne, and we're just going to let that pop. Which may seem a bit silly, but like I said, it gives us chivalry from winning battles with those rebels, so we may as well. So yeah, we're just going to leave the Fae Enchantress in probably in camp stance next to Castle Carcassonne, and we're going to keep ending turns. We are going to have the Beastmen say hello. They are going to be raiding our lands, which is kind of annoying, but will help us get rid of our public order sooner than later. I am going to keep ending up calling it public order, even though it is technically control. Marie Beaumont is going to be discovering factions for us. We can't currently talk with Bretonnia, for example, and Leonese, so I'm sending her up there to discover them. Let's see if we can get these non-aggression packs now. Okay, we've got one with Bordelot. Can we get one with Baston? Yes, we can. Great stuff. So that will help increase our relations with all of the Bretonnia factions from the offset. We're just going to save this cash best we can. And the reason I'm keeping a full army here, even though we're skipping turns, is because I need it to destroy the rebels when they pop up. So a couple more turns, I believe. Alright, let's head towards Leonese. And as soon as we discover them, we can change tack and discover Artois. And then we will jump into diplomacy and talk to those guys.
The lady grants you safe.
Hopefully we can get with Leonese as well.
Let's hope we...
Good stuff. And so we are going towards the heraldry of Leonese. And once that's complete, we'll be able to set up trade and so on with the other Bretonnian factions. Well, Leonese specifically. Until we get the heraldries for all the rest. So we're just going to go, yeah, for a pretty much diplomatic start. Not going to really be fighting anyone. Maybe the Wood Elves will come and attack us at some point, but for now we're okay. The public order is going to pop next turn.
I have seen your heart.
Discover Bretonnia.
My steps are guided.
And we will say hello to him.
I am King Leonco.
Okay, he does not want that non-aggression pact just yet. Maybe next time we can squeeze that out of him. But for now, I believe we have non-aggression pacts with all of the other Bretonnian factions, which is great. It might be worth getting one with Estalia and Tilia for now as well, although Estalia is actually a pretty nice target once we've sorted out the public order problems caused by the greenskin incursions. So here comes the rebellion. And our technology has been researched, which has given us extra chivalry. It's also given us extra leadership for lords and embedded heroes, which is good stuff. So what we're going to do now is get Marie Beaumont to head back towards the Fae Enchantress and join her. And we are going to be upgrading Castle Carcassonne now.
Yes.
I'm going to take the Fae Enchantress out of that stance, and we're going to attack the greenskins here. Now, since we haven't been introduced to any of the new Bretonnian units, I am indeed going to fight this one on the battle map. And here we are. It's actually quite a nice battlefield. But our formation is going to be pretty strange. Let's gamble for more wins. That's good. We'll start the deployment. We've got 22 wins now. We're going to grab all of our men-at-arms and the pilgrims. We're going to put them out in front. We're going to merge them all with the peasant mob. Peasant mob are like peasants from like Rome Total War and stuff. They just have terrible leadership. They're just basically expendable units. Then we have men-at-arms, which are okay. They're not great. And spearmen at arms, just sort of relatively good against cavalry and stuff. Then we have battle pilgrims, which are sort of like an upgraded unit of peasants. Then we have all of our peasant bowmen. Seen plenty of those before, but basically they're relatively good in mass. They do manage to fill the sky with arrows sometimes, which is really, really useful for just carving down enemy units. But yeah, with these spearmen, I am just going to keep them on the flanks because we are against like wolf riders and stuff, I believe. And then we're going to have our Grail Guardians. They're just going to probably slam directly into infantry. We're not going to engage them with the wolf riders because they are anti-infantry specifically. Right, we have our sorceress here as well. She can sit in the middle, and we're just going to speed things up. We're going to force them towards us with our blessed field trebuchets. So currently the target is the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. I've got a couple of Goblin Wolf Riders. I think what I'm going to do is probably target the Orc Archer boys. Oh, a nice amount of damage done there. Let me get some peasant bowmen to face the left, or right, sorry, in order to kill off the wolf riders. Hopefully the spearmen at arms can take down the wolf riders. Oh, the Grail Guardians weren't actually hidden, so that's something. Just gonna run away with those. The Goblin Wolf Rider Archers are running around all over the place at the moment. Okay, we've got Goblin Wolf Riders attacking us in the rear here. Fortunately, we can intercept them with a couple of units. So what I'm going to do is get a couple units to engage the Orc boys. So a couple units to each unit, and then we're going to keep our spearmen spread out to the right to cover our flank. And then I'm going to have the Grail Guardians move round on the right and actually attack the Orc boys there. Unless they're going to be forced to engage the Wolf Riders, which I hope they aren't, because the charge into the back of these Orc boys would be very useful. And we may as well have our Fae Enchantress move and join in as well, so we're going to do that. We're going to do a Awakening of the Wood. That's an explosion that's going to do a nice amount of damage. Alright, let's get the Grail Guardians to charge into the back of the Orc boys. Very nice. Gonna let these spearmen like hunt down the Wolf Riders. Let's get all of these bowmen to just cut down the Orc boys that are running away. So this is what I mean by filling the sky with missile fire. So that's one thing you can do with peasant bowmen, and that's worked out quite well. I'm surprised my men held that well, considering the leadership is terrible sometimes. But that field trebuchet unit got 83 kills, which is very nice. Only 173 losses, that was pretty good actually. So we aren't going to ransom the captives to get the extra 380 treasury, because that will lose us 5 chivalry. What I'm going to do is just take the extra leadership, and that will allow us to beat off the next incursion much easier. As you can see, we did get a sizable amount of chivalry gain there. An extra 10 as opposed to plus 5. So we are going to attack them again, and we're going to auto-resolve it this time. And that's another decisive victory. So another execution. And that's going to give us 35 chivalry. So we're already getting close to the 200 we need to get to the next level. And once we get access to the Green Knight, that's likely the time that we're going to be attacking the King's Glade. So the melee attack +6 and melee defense +6. Got extra captives captured after battle. Has she gained any traits yet? I do believe that the leaders in the Bretonnian nations get very good traits based upon what they do on the battle map. So as long as we continue to get great victories like that, she should become like a good attacker, for example, and we'll get extra leadership when attacking, which should be really good. So we have 2 skill points to spend. I'm probably going to go for Awakening of the Wood. We'll get Inspiring Presence actually, just because it's useful, and actually maybe extra leadership for melee units as well. Mainly because we are going to be relying on these melee units for a while, and we don't want them routing just because. So we'll have another incursion next turn. We are currently working on the upgrade for Castle Carcassonne. We do have Marie Beaumont on our way back. Let's end the turn. I would be deploying Marie Beaumont every turn that I can, but honestly it's just so much quicker to just have her in battle and level her up that way. So we're just going to get her back as quickly as possible. So there's another incursion. It's going to be another battle. This time I'm probably just going to auto-resolve it. And we will execute the captives. They're going to retreat. We'll do the same thing again. So this is leveling up the Fae Enchantress and also giving us unit ranks on our units, which is nice. And we are getting some loot from this. I obviously would like to ransom, but
These men will
we don't need
resist
to.
the enemies of Bretonnia, with the lady now protecting them.
So we have the Blessing of the Lady, which is a new mechanic for Bretonnia. Basically, when you have destroyed or won enough battles with an army, they gain the Blessing of the Lady. I think there's a chance that it happens. So your deeds in noble and glorious battle have attracted the Fae and Ancient Lady, who has seen fit to bless you with her favour reward for your heroism. You shine now with newfound radiance. Let no foe block your path. With the lady as your sword and shield, brook no resistance and strike down evil in her name.
I protect
So, as you can see, we now have the Blessing of the Lady, which gives us a plus 20% physical resistance buff to all units, I believe. It's pretty cool. So it's a Blessing of the Lady ability. So I think you have to actually cast it, or is it passive? No, yeah, it's constant. So yeah, plus 20% physical resistance to all our units. Really, really nice. I'm probably just going to continue actually with Lowborn Militia for this army. And we're going to keep her by Castle Carcassonne because there is going to be another incursion next turn. If we lose any peasant mob units, I'm not going to be too worried about that. We'll just re-recruit better units. Let's get Marie Beaumont to continue. And it looks like Bordelot might be in trouble. Are they at war with Mousillon? Yes, they are. Okay, so Bordelot, if they lose their main province, we might be able to incorporate them with a confederation. But that would require us to have the technology to do so. So we would have to head down to Heraldry of Bordelot. We do have the Heraldry of Leonese finished in 5 turns. So at the moment, just saving money, fighting off greenskin incursions. The Beastmen actually helping us with this by causing it to pop every turn. It's actually quite a good thing because we managed to get the extra loot. Also, it allows us to get more experience on the Fae Enchantress and soon on Marie Beaumont. So Marie can travel on her way, and we might just deploy her this turn. So we're going to go for another auto-resolve and execute the captives again. And we will attack again and auto-resolve. So just farming money. You know, the loot gained is really, really nice. And here we go. Confident Attacker trait. Gained by winning offensive battles. So now she gets extra leadership to everyone in our army when she's attacking, and extra aura size as well, which is great for the trait or skill that she has, where she gives leadership to units around her. We've got extra control in the local province as well from a follower, and she's leveled up. So we're going to get that maxed out. And we may also go for extra ammunition possibly, or missile infantry units. Although I'm tempted to go up here now. I think we'll go for Awakening of the Wood so that we can get Earthblood, which is very similar to the Invocation of Nehek for the Vampire Counts. It just doesn't actually resurrect units, it only heals them. It's very useful for like knights and stuff, because knights can take a lot of damage without actually dying. Already on 75 chivalry though, so good job so far. And honestly, we don't need to take settlements in order to win this campaign. Like, we could sit here for this entire campaign and just be attacked over and over and over and over and over again by these greenskin tribes, and it would take us up to 1,000 chivalry eventually. In which we could win the campaign, because the overall ultimate campaign victory condition is attain 1,000 chivalry and complete the entry war battle. But it is popping again this turn. We are fortunate enough to have the extra replenishment, so we can just basically replenish any losses we have at the end of every turn. But that is all, I believe. We could upgrade this to a rally field, but there is no point in wasting that cash just yet. So here we go, another incursion. We did just get negative growth for Castle Carcassonne, which isn't great. Marie Beaumont is nearly able to join the Fae Enchantress.
What would you
Next
have
turn
of
she'll
me?
be able to level up alongside her. This is another auto-resolve.
Going for
Extra fire resistance. And there we go. Good stuff. So the Peasant Bowman here, getting up to unit rank 3 now.
I shall go.
Plenty of bonus loot.
My journey
And it's going to
continues.
pop again next turn. So pretty much going to be doing this every turn until it runs out. And then we can think about getting our confederations and so on. So the Fae Enchantress, she can now get Earthblood. And we can get Marie Beaumont into the army next turn.
Fae Enchantress.
Great stuff. So I think we're doing okay. Let's see how our diplomacy is doing. Can we get a non-aggression pact with Bretonnia? They want 600 for that. It might be worth it. Although we're never actually going to be stopping them from going to war with us at the moment. I think the best thing we could be doing right now is get the trade agreements with Leonese. Okay, so we're going to take 300 for that. We can also get a trade agreement from Paravon. We don't have much to trade at the moment, so that sucks really, but maybe we'll just take the trade agreement. Yep. I was actually lucky to get 300 with Leonese then. But that's going to give us some extra income every turn, which will help us out in the long run. Currently on 105 chivalry. And by the time we finish with all of these incursions, we should be on the next level.
A rival power desires a change in your mutual.
Bordelot would like a trade agreement for the 100. We're just going to decline that and just get a trade agreement anyway. And
Folklore tells of a mighty champion
let's see.
who will emerge from the mist to protect the Dukes of Bretonnia in their hour of need, cleansing the land of its enemies.
So, the Green Knight. That was just explaining that. Another incursion, of course.
Ever ready.
So, a pretty repetitive gameplay so far, you know, but it is just going to be like this. But once we start to incorporate all of the other Bretonnian factions, you can imagine that we get very, very powerful, and that is definitely the case. Also, we're picking up lots of followers and so on that we can use, which is great. We can also change to get the Shield of Tolos, which is actually very good. It gives us extra melee defense and missile resistance, which is fantastic against the Wood Elves. So we're going to go and get Knights, or the Life Bloom now, which basically replenishes the hit points of combatants when she's casting. Let's finish off that army though. And we did lose that unit of peasant mob, finally.
Ever on.
So another banner gained, and Purifier, which is gained by executing captives, which gives us enemy leadership -5 in the local region and +1 control for every concurrent war with neighbouring faction. So that's even more chivalry gained there.
Lady. I am called forth.
She's leveled up, and we're going to get the Shield of Thorns. We will also recruit a new unit of men-at-arms, probably. Yeah, we're just going to get normal men-at-arms. We can get Marie Beaumont into the army. I probably should have done that before I attacked, but it's no problem really. Now Carcassonne has upgraded, which is going to start us, or allow us to start recruiting knights and so on, once we upgrade to like a royal stables, for example. So we are now going to get a stables, and I might also upgrade the rally field at some point, but I think I'm just going to save the cash so we can upgrade the stables as soon as possible, and then we can get the upgraded skill on the Fae Enchantress, and that's basically what I'm talking about, is the Knight's Vow, so that we get the upkeep greatly reduced for Knights Errant, Knights of the Realm, and Pegasus Knights, which are the ones you can get from the upgrade. I think you get Knights Errant 2nd level, yeah, Knights Errant, and then you get Knights of the Realm next, and then Questing Knights, which are pretty good, but we can't get Questing Knights until the next skill level, so we'll probably just get Knights of the Realm and Knights Errant, because Knights Errant are good against are anti-infantry, and Knights of the Realm are anti-large, so that's a good combination to have. But in the meantime, it has unfortunately been my time. So that has been the first episode of our Carcassonne campaign. It is pretty repetitive to begin with, and we are going to be waiting for this greenskin incursions thing to go all the way down to 0, fighting those battles every single turn in order to get loads of experience for our Fae Enchantress and loads of chivalry to get the next level and unlock the legendary knight, the Green Knight, in order to attack the Wood Elves. That's the plan. Okay, so unfortunately, guys, yeah, I'm going to have to leave it here. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the start to this campaign, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.